Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is a Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Ola Doluko, and I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. It promises to be a very interesting one, as there's quite a number of things that we're going to be talking about. There's a lot of drama happening in a lot of, what's the word now? A lot of states house of assemblies, like states house of assembly. Sorry, that's the word. It's quite a number of interesting things from Lagos State, which you know that the drama has not ended, to there's issues coming from Benue State. There is in Edo State as well. The drama in Ogun State, not Ogun State, sorry. Osun State local government is not stopping anytime soon. There are quite a number of interesting things coming from the sports angle today as well. And also entertainment stories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. My name is Ola Doluko, like I said, and with me in the studio is Shola Rogers. So, welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar.
Okay, so we're getting straight into it right now. First things first. The interesting thing, or let me just put some things out there. First things first. Nigeria is looking for serious money. It's safe to say that Nigeria is looking for money, because right now the federal government is set to is asking for a court order for Binance. Remember the Binance drama? Yeah, that Binance drama. So right now they're asking for that to they're asking for Binance to pay 79 billion economic loss fine and $2 billion tax.
I won't take it from the angle of them looking for money. Everybody they find money, but it's not just the fact that they are trying to make money off this or get some tariff of whatever. It's majorly about the company and all the things that surrounds it. And if you go and check internationally, this company has paid fines in at least 3 other countries. So if they've made the same infractions in Nigeria, why should we look the other way? Why shouldn't we ask them, to pay these fines that they're supposed to pay? So for me, I'm even glad that, there's the staying power of this government. They're following through on things that you hear about. In the past, you just hear some things and, like they say, it gets swept under the carpet. And I can imagine that carpet somewhere in Aso Rock.
It's now a mountain.
Yeah.
It is now a mountain.
So I think it's a good thing, actually. And again, the Binance guy did not do himself any good with the recent allegations. That
those allegations, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? Just thank your star. Say you are not in Nigeria again. Because your mouth was not running like this when you were in detention. You left now. You are no longer in detention now. Your mouth is running all over the place. And anyway, moving on from that quickly, also just wanted to put it out there, the National Assembly, that's the Senate and the House of Representatives have now announced that there are quite a number of calculating errors in the 2025 appropriation bill, and they're talking about doing the recommitting to a reconsideration. Then they will now go back to it before the president finally signs it. And the first thing in my head was, so what were you people doing if we still have these funny numbers?
This a story was told once about how whenever the budget was being passed, it's more or less like the same thing with a few tweaks here and there. People talk about how the just copy and paste the old one and just change one or two things.
Just I get your point, yeah.
And all of that. And this is funny that even under a Tinubu government, they claim that they're doing things differently. This should be happening because where did the budget emanate from? Where are the mistakes from? You understand? And why is it that at the point of you saying the budget has been passed, there are errors that you have noticed? Who noticed the errors? Maybe it's the person you should have given the job in the first place.
In the first place, yeah.
And again, whenever you guys say you're sitting down to...
What have you done? What were you doing?
What exactly is it that you're doing?
Exactly. I'm like, okay, this is... It's a tad bit embarrassing. But anyway, we definitely will see where this drama is going to. We'll see. Then they now repass the bill again, Abi, before it now goes to the president. Anyway, still talking about the National Assembly quickly. The House of Representatives have now summoned INEC, saying that what is causing the delay in conducting by-elections. So there are quite a number of by-elections that need to be conducted in the Federal House of Assembly and also in a few states' houses as well.
The thing about building strong institutions has just come to the fore again. If we have built strong institutions, we have structures in place, things will work seamlessly. You know that there's a window for the next by-election that, if this person maybe gets an appointment or resigns or is impeached or sacked or recalled, this is the window. And you already know those things have happened. So why do you need the House of Assembly to prompt you? Why do you need anybody else to remind you? These things are standard.
And I remember seeing this was, I think, a conversation, I think it was in the House of Reps, I think it was last week, where they were saying that when are they going to finally have oversight functions for INEC? Because as much as they are supposed to be independent, there is nobody, like INEC is literally a law unto itself.
More or less. That's what it looks
I remember that conversation very, very, very well that was happening. So there actually needs to be maybe a few conversations around those things, truly. It definitely needs to be looked into.
The funny thing is,
come and explain why.
It's sad that we feel that they even need to have oversight functions before they can do their jobs. Do you understand? I'm talking about a system that will work seamlessly. A system that knows that in 2 years' time there's an election coming, and within a period, as stipulated by law, you should have done the upgrade of your register, your voters register and everything. They don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until it's too late. They start running helter-skelter. They start doing all sorts of last-minute things. We need to build a country where people get used to systems. And this doesn't look good on INEC, because you are depriving a lot of Nigerians
representation. Yeah, it definitely is the issue right here. But before we leave the House of Representatives, there are also talks of them looking into the local government crisis in Osun State, and I think it is worth looking into. Really.
That's a welcome development. That's something that they're not supposed to even be wasting time on. It's supposed to be fast. I don't know how we allow things degenerate. Within the space of a day, at least 6 people were killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we're waiting for. Why are we waiting until another set of people get killed over a court judgment and local government, control and access?
It's money. It's the money. Let's call it spade a spade. It's the money.
Money or not, it's also power, actually, because, again, the incumbent is saying that he's done the right thing. The people in the opposition in Osun State are saying that he hasn't, and that there's a court judgment to that effect. Beyond the money, because this case had been there before. Tinubu went and got them their autonomy through the Supreme Court. They were already at loggerheads. This started as soon as the current governor of Osun State, made the proclamation or declaration that those guys were no longer in charge.
Yeah.
And it's one thing that they do, that all these people do, all the local chairmen, the governors, and hopefully going forward, it will
be more difficult
to do. It will be harder for them to pull it off. And I'm wondering why even the same assembly has not passed a law that would take the elections, away from the governors, to the center, maybe to the central INEC, or create another electoral body for local government.
The local government elections are horribly, what's the word now? Predictable. You just know. There's no need to even be. You just know once you hear election. We already know who's going to win anyway. Interesting news. Anyway, but still talking about Osun State is still going on as right now the Osun local government chairmen and councillors apparently the governor had put a directive that nobody should resume because of the violence and all that, but they did not answer as they have resumed offices today.
Yeah, so the governor was very emphatic about this. He said none of the people involved, even the PDP, which he belongs to, and the APC, who are trying to move into those places based on a judgment they claim they have, or they say they have. He said nobody should go there. This is a direct, slap on his own face.
But can I say something though? Can I have a suggestion though? If everybody is independent of themselves, the way the governors, I don't think the president can order a governor not to go to his state.
In the situation where there's crisis and there's trouble, did you not hear where people were even talking about a state of emergency and all of that?
Yeah, that is, it has to be done by law. Is there a law
there are parallels?
Is there something that gives a governor powers to give such a directive and say,
is the chief security officer of the state? Based on security reports, the bulk stops at his table. We keep saying we want governors to be responsible. We want them to do more. We want them to step up. And now Osun State governor says nobody should go to local government. Then nobody should go. That's the way it should be. It shouldn't even be about his personality or his perceived allegiances to his party or whatever. Mm-hmm. It should be about the rule of law. It should be about security. It should be about safety. Because again, when they start all this violence, apart from them attacking themselves directly, a lot of innocent people, will feel the brunt of this. Because, these people who think they can kill for power, they won't stop at nothing. They can do a whole lot. So, if the governor says for security reasons, then you have to obey him. And if they're flouting his direct order like that, it calls to question, is power, is he really in charge? What's going on?
I just feel that I get the angle where yes, I get the angle where there's a need to secure the state. I'm just saying that, are we actually still, does he actually have those powers for them to what's the word now, for them to blatantly flout that directive? Is it not possible that he doesn't even have such powers to stop them from going to work?
So why is he the chief security officer? Why is he in charge of security, directly in charge of security in Osun State? And you try to draw a parallel with the federal. You're saying now that if there's crisis in a particular state, to the point where people are getting killed, does the president have powers to roll in the army? Of course he does. If the state governors don't have state police, they still can call on the security apparatus of the state.
Yeah, the president has the power to roll in the army, not tell governors not to go out or not to go to their offices. That's it.
If he has to declare a curfew to secure the place, you think he wouldn't?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe declare a curfew. Maybe put police out to secure people.
In my opinion,
but stopping them from going to their office.
Since we're all sharing opinions here, and if some of them are basically backed by law, and some of them are just basically our feelings, right? I feel that Governor Ademola Adeleke was right to say everybody stay away from the local government at the moment.
But if that's the case, if we also look at it politically, doesn't that favor him? Are you sure that they're not looking at it that it's just favorable to him?
Now, he did not perpetually say nobody should go there. He said for now, until tensions go down, until we can guarantee the safety of property and life. I don't see why anybody should fault that. Maybe you like him, you don't. Maybe he's in a party you don't like. Maybe you have a party you support or whatever. Nobody in Osun State should fault what the man has said about avoiding the local governments at the moment. If another life is lost or other lives are lost, won't people shout the governor's name? They will not shout Tinubu's name. It's Ademola Adeleke that they will call.
Okay. We'll see. Anyway, we're definitely following what's happening in Osun State, and we will definitely bring more updates about it. But since we're going on in that matter, let's go to a few states. Like I said, there are quite a number of interesting things happening in a few states. Before we go to the Houses of Assembly in Oyo State, the Nigerian immigration. Interesting news that the Nigerian Immigration Service had arrested 40 people who they claimed to be illegal migrants at different locations at Akinyele local government area in Oyo State. They said migrants are the numbers show that the 27 of them that are Cameroonians, 2 Ghanaians, 10 Beninese, and 1 Togolese. The 8 females and 32 males between the ages of 18 and 35. They said that 10 of them, after investigation, 10 of them are actually farmers, but the remaining 30 claim to be doing online marketing, saying that none of these people possess residence cards or travel documents.
Okay, kudos to the authorities for being able to at least nip this and quickly process and allow the ones who are farmers to continue. I'm
not sure they're allowing anybody.
I hope they will. If people are here doing legitimate work and they're covered by the ECOWAS Charter and all of that, I hope they will allow them.
According to the Controller General, they're all going to be deported back to their countries.
Well, if that's what the law says, there's no sentiment involved in that game. It would have been nice if people who are being productive are processed and allowed to continue to be productive.
Online marketing, that just sounds
I didn't say anything about those ones. I'm more concerned about.
No, I get your point.
The 10 farmers who are amongst them. If there's someone that's brought them into Nigeria, if there's someone who's invited them, has got them doing business. Look, we're talking food security here, and it's probably something that they should have done the proper documentations for them. Because again, as a part of all these names, all these people, they're all part of ECOWAS, save for Cameroon. You get, and of course, Cameroon are our brothers next door. So, if there are ways to quickly get documents for them.
But you know that even ECOWAS, you can only stay without proper documentation, I think, for 6 months. And not that documentation, you must even have your own ECOWAS passport with you.
That's exactly what
I'm saying. But this was according to
that's what I'm saying.
Immigration. They don't even have any documentation.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That the people who brought them in, who invited them, the people who own the farms, it's on them to make sure that they get all of these things sorted, because these guys are actually contributing positively to Nigeria's economy.
Anyway, Sha, according...
Not the online marketers. I'm talking about the farmers amongst this number of foreign nationals that were arrested in Oyo State.
And anyway, moving on from that, let's go to Kano. Interestingly, where the Governor Yusuf has now signed a law creating the Kano State Security Neighborhood Watch.
Okay. What's the story?
It's just they now have neighborhood watch. There's now a law that makes them have neighborhood watch.
Well, a lot of states have their neighborhood watch in quote. It's some kind of arrangement where the law does not allow them to have a state police, but it doesn't stop them from creating things like this. Mm-hmm. So the problem I've always had with the concept of state police is the fact that the governors could use them against the people or their own enemies, political enemies and otherwise. But that's a con. The pro is that if done well, it helps with security. So if the neighborhood watch is going to help with security, they should move fast, and make it happen.
Okay, now moving on from that, just wanted to put this out there as this is just an update that the Senate has now summoned the NSA, the National Security Advisor, and the DSS boss over the Boko Haram funding. Remember that conversation from, I think, a U.S. Parliament member about Boko Haram funding, and now the Senate has now summoned both of them for a bit of explanation on that.
Why are they the ones to explain it? They are not the ones that said it.
Yeah, but
wait.
they probably have some information that
Wait.
other people don't.
Wait. These guys are appointed. You screen most of them when they come for appointments. They're not the ones that made the allegation. Do you understand? How do you expect them to answer your questions? Honestly.
What I would have thought was because why I probably think that these people basically work with intelligence gathering. So in my head, I'm like, even if you were not NSA or DSS boss when you were there, being in that office now would avail you some information about the previous people that you probably didn't know before you took the office. So it's possible they know some things.
So let's go with that logic. They were not there when Boko Haram started.
Yeah.
But now they've been there for close to 2 years.
Yeah.
And within those 2 years, the information that you said they're privy to, they didn't share it with the security committee of the House or any of these people until someone in America now said that their own country has been sponsoring the terrorists in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That's when they will now reveal, we also knew, but we couldn't say anything because you didn't ask us. Do you see logic behind that?
I get it, but I'm just saying that they probably might know one or two things that would that they might be able to speak to you, because at this point, who else would you?
Let me advise them. I get the loophole being sold on this. It's fine. You know, this is how we learn, because I picked up something from what you're saying now. Let them invite Senator Perry or Mr. Perry or whatever his name is. If they have to fly to America to go and sit down with him, if they have to ask for the documents that will prove it, why ask someone in Nigeria except you also know that the person knows when someone says he knows and the person is in America? Let's get to the bottom of it now. I actually want them to get to the bottom of this Boko Haram sponsorship. Remember that in the past, the Nigerian security network have reviewed names of sponsors of Boko Haram.
Yeah.
There were, as of last year, it was 2 years ago and 3 years ago, there were some people that were even arrested, and there were names that were published from Dubai and other. I think it was Dubai or UAE or one of those places where these people they were the alleged sponsors of Boko Haram. You get? So of course there could be more than one Boko Haram. There are splinter groups. There could be the ones that the US people were sending money to, as alleged by a US top politician.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, if you tell me that there's fire on the mountain and the mountain is in my own country and I don't see it, I'll come and beg you for your own insight
about it. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see where this conversation is going to. So now let's move on to a little bit of gist from different houses of assembly. We're going from Benue, we're going to Lagos State, and so let's stop at Benue. Benue House of Assembly is not one of the houses of assembly that I hear a lot of gist about, like the way we didn't used to hear gist about Lagos State House of Assembly until recently. Yeah. However, there is a very interesting thing that is brewing. So the governor had a few days ago had sent a recommendation for the removal of the Chief Justice of the state. Now, this had caused a bit of issues, and however, there was a vote today, and out of 32 members of the House, it was said that about 23 people had voted for the removal of the CJ, the state's Chief Justice, and the appointment of a new one. Before we hear anything, the NBA, that's the Nigerian Bar Association, had said that there is according to them, it's a purported removal of the judge of Benue State. They call it a brazen assault on the Constitution.
Okay.
So the Nigerian Bar Association have a problem with how this person was removed. According to the governor, it said that he was trying to tamper with the state local government election law, corruption, inciting judicial strikes, bribery, and fraternizing with politicians.
That's why the governor wants.
That's why he wanted him removed.
Okay, so from the look of things, of course, is obviously not an appointee of this current governor of Benue.
Mm-hmm.
It was inherited by his government. And what this means to me, in essence, is that the governor probably doesn't know that that's not how you go about it. Do you understand? There are ways, and I think the Judicial Council has to have a say.
Yeah, I think
this.
before, yeah.
And even before you can appoint another person.
Yeah.
So we've seen it happen. Rivers State tried it didn't work. Osun State tried it didn't work. You know, don't these governors, don't they have WhatsApp group?
So apparently 13 of these House of Assembly members now distanced themselves, put out a press statement and said that what the action that the House of Assembly did is unconstitutional. That what the governor and the House of Assembly was supposed to do according to the Constitution is send this recommendation to the National Judicial Council. That is then that the after then can, if the it's now on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, can then the chief judge of the state be removed?
Exactly. So these are the issues. A lot of times when we want to play politics with the law, we forget to, dot the I's and cross the T's.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying it earlier because it's obvious that they don't know that that's not how to do it. If you want to get him out, you have to do it the right way.
Interesting. There are quite a bit of interesting news coming from there. Why I said so is that remember that I said earlier that there were 32 people. These 13 people also have a problem with the voting pattern. Now, they said 13 of them did not vote, according to them. Mm-hmm. The 32 members in the House and the Speaker also did not vote. Mm-hmm. Apparently, maybe
get 23?
So how did you get 23 people to vote? So that it's a very, very funny thing at this point. However, after all this drama, the Speaker of the House then now announced the suspension of these 13 lawmakers for their dishonorable act.
Well, if the Speaker has powers to suspend them, it's for a limited time. Because I know before we started looking at the Constitution, you say you have suspended a lawmaker indefinitely. You don't have such powers. You don't have such powers, yeah. You get. So suspending them, it might be well within your right, but for how long will it be? Because these guys need to be back there representing their people. My problem here is that we're going to start playing a lot of politics to the detriment of governance.
It seems to be very, very interesting because, like I said, it's not something that you hear a lot from Benue say, but this looks like there's a lot of issues in how this thing was done.
It's just not being done right, though. Just follow the law. That's what we're saying.
Oh, obviously. It definitely has not been done right. But we definitely will follow this matter. It's obvious this matter has not ended or is not ending anytime soon. Now, let's move on from that. Let's go to Edo's Assembly, where today they have now passed and approved death penalty for kidnappers.
That's a massive one. Kidnapping has become one of the biggest threats to life in Nigeria. I was still watching a video a couple of hours ago. Some guys that were arrested somewhere in Lagos who had gone there to try to kidnap someone. And
I think in Agopa last week or something.
Three of them were apprehended and all of that. You see, the thing here is, I know that globally, a lot of countries are saying the death penalty should be removed from a lot of offenses.
But when somebody is after your life,
but
if
you take a look at how effective it has been in a country like China, where they used to have a lot of corruption cases, and those things have actually gone now. You hardly ever hear about it anymore in China. Do you understand? China is known more for authentic things now and all of that than as against. So maybe, just maybe, the death penalty.
That's what I'm saying. See, there are some things in my books that I feel that it works. Why? Because when someone is really after your life, it's not a bad thing if that kind of person too can go to
Yeah,
be
because
gone.
the DG of NAFDAC was talking about the death sentence for people who sell counterfeit drugs and counterfeit items.
Those people are after people's lives. Simple and short. Once you do something that is detrimental to people's livelihood or lives, you deserve the death penalty, and that's it in my own books. Anyway, moving on from that, we're coming all the way down to Lagos State, where now there's a lot of drama in Lagos State as well. We know that the speakership, the seat of the speaker, has caused a bit of rancor in the past week or two in Lagos State. We saw the drama that happened a few days ago, how DSS said they were invited because the former speaker wanted to forcefully bring himself back. I don't know how that would have happened, but maybe they got their, but we saw all that drama and we moved on. And then this, a few hours ago, there was news that this new speaker, Meranda, had resigned, which was very interesting. When I saw that news, I'm like, a lot of people didn't carry it, but I'm like, let's just leave it out in the first place. Only for us to see about an hour after, there was now a statement from the speaker's chief press secretary saying that the speaker is in the office and that there's nothing about any resignation. Because in my mind, I'm like, the last I checked, the last we heard about it was that there was a vote of confidence that was about from, I think, 36 lawmakers in the House, and they had gone on recess.
Yeah, recess actually does not stop the speaker from resigning. I just want to put that out there. You can resign at any time you choose to resign, or you can be made to resign, as the case may be. But in this particular context, I think this woman is in the fight of her life.
Yeah.
She's fighting to survive here as the Speaker of the House. And she's up against a lot of forces. Mm-hmm. But she also has a lot of forces behind her, people who are supporting her. The question is to the media house that published this. Supposed to be a reputable media house. It's not even something that is within their niche. They are more of a business brand. I'm not mentioning the brand, but it's sad that they're the ones that had the biggest name amongst the people that published it, you get. And you did not get a press statement. You did not have a one-on-one or exclusive interview. Mm-hmm. What are you going to hide behind?
What were you doing?
I read their story. They said this is a developing story. Why
not wait for let the story develop completely?
Something that's not developed. It's always because they are just after the eyeballs.
Yeah. So now it's no longer developing.
It's for clicks and clout. You want that. Even if the woman eventually resigns, it will be done the right way. A document will be signed. Mm-hmm. I've seen a letter flying around. So-called, someone posted it somewhere and said, the plot thickens, and I'm like, oh, please, spare me. And then I said, you know what? I always have an open mind to think. So I opened the message, and I saw the letter, and the logo looked like it was superimposed on some white background.
Oh, God.
And it was not a signed document.
Oh,
it was not signed by anybody. And if that's what this business paper saw and published, shame on you.
Interesting news.
Look, as journalists, they keep telling us that, we're supposed to be the ones to help fix things. But it looks like we're on this free fall. Too many journalists are just after the eyeballs and the clicks and the clout. And this shit, sorry, pardon my French, must not work. It's not working.
Okay, now let's move on.
Finally, before you move on.
Okay.
Dear Speaker, sue somebody.
Somebody is to be sued at this point. I think I get your point. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea to actually finally get to sue somebody. But now moving on from that, and let's go on to another very interesting conversation where we're going to Anambra. I know that there was news of Anambra lawmaker that was kidnapped, and a few days later there was news that he had passed on. he was killed. And there were a few people that were arrested. Now, according to the State Commissioner of Police, they said that 2 suspects who were assisting the police operatives had gone out with the operatives on an investigation to arrest the receiver of vehicles, but that they had escaped custody.
It's unbelievable that an ongoing investigation of this magnitude is being treated with kid gloves. How did suspects that have been fingered in kidnapping and possible manslaughter or murder escape from police custody? It starts to make you think, oh, is there some kind of,
So you took them out.
Did you get paid to?
Why did you take them out of the police station?
For educational purposes. What do you think? Maybe someone got paid somewhere and they just put them inside Uber.
Let's
for educational purposes.
For educational purposes, like you said, for educational purposes.
Is there a possibility?
Is it that there's a lot? It seems like there's a large chunk of, would I say, the police. There is a level of shame that is it that you don't develop when you get into the police force. Why I said so is that shouldn't it be shameful that a commissioner of police would open his mouth and say, let me read the statement. The state commissioner of police, he had said he received the report. He explained that 2 suspects who were assisting the police operatives had gone out with the operatives. Why? To arrest a receiver of vehicles used by the criminal gang. During the onslaught operation by the operatives, the suspect, the receiver, was arrested, and 2 vehicles suspected have been snatched from the unsuspecting members of the public were recovered. Unfortunately, in between that, the other 2 suspects fled the scene. You wanted to go and arrest 1 person. You took 2 people out, so you have 1 and 2 are roaming. See, Nigeria police stress me out, I swear. Nigeria police stress me out.
For purposes of just research, it sounds like some people are doing exchange of prisoner.
What's it called?
Now this was a dramatic reenactment.
What's this thing they are doing? Gaza and Israel are doing.
They are exchanging
hostage situation.
So Oga, you go release those 2 boys, eh?
I'll give you this one.
We go give you the one where they buy the car, and that one too a big fish now. Okay. This is a dramatic, educational recreation. A figment of our imagination. Did you see what I did there? Recreation and imagination.
Nigeria police stress me out.
Don't make me write an ode to the
Nigeria police stress you out. Like
I might be forced to write a poem about this song. Or a statement. It's just anyway, it's just sad. That's all I can say at this point. It's just sad. Completely and totally sad. Now, before we move on from the issue of the police, it's interesting news that now at this point, I don't even know who to believe anymore. So we're back to our media people. A lot of people, we know that last we checked, Mr. Portable, Nigerian artist, Mr. Portable, it has been said that he had gone to surrender himself to what's the word now? To Ogun State Police Command. So, but Nigerian media people, most people are saying that he had surrendered himself to Lagos State, and I'm like, it's not Lagos State that is looking for him. Why will he surrender himself to Lagos State? I read the statement by the Ogun State people, and they confirmed that it's with them.
That's what I'm saying. I get your point. I'm just saying that why most people actually, should I mention names?
For educational purposes, so that people will learn.
The Nation, I think Punch, big newspapers actually announced that legal. I'm like, okay. Because it actually kind of got me a bit confused.
Is it that Ogun State police don't know where their station is anymore?
At this point, I'm shocked.
They were clear about Elewera in Abeokuta.
Because they are the ones that are looking for him anyway.
They are the ones that declared him wanted.
They are the ones that declared him wanted. So what's Lagos State's business?
Or maybe he went to tender himself in Lagos, then they now give him Uber ride.
In fact, according to one of this media houses, they had said that I think Lagos State PRO had announced it.
Is the Ogun State PRO?
Or no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That on his X, I read it.
Okay.
That they were the ones that.
And you found it there when you checked?
Of course, it was not there. So that's what I was like, what are you people doing? Like, what exactly are you people doing?
It's a very sad one, though. Please, dear media brothers and sisters, man, you guys are dropping the ball on a daily.
Anyway, bottom line is Mr. Portable has gone to surrender himself after all.
Wala.
After all his prayers, looks like the prayers did not work, but
you saw the prayers. I saw the sacrifice.
The all the prayers and everything, they all community prayers.
You just went and killed a poor tortoise in.
Just for nothing. It not work. Sorry,
Yeah.
It not work. Anyway, there's still a bit of entertainment stories, but before we go to that, there are quite a number of sports stories that I think we need to talk about. First things first. Remember the issue of Jude Bellingham? I think that was over the weekend with Osasuna.
Yep.
His red card issue.
Yeah.
So it's official. Jude Bellingham is said to actually get a 2-match suspension for that red card.
Thank God,
the club is preparing an appeal, but They
were talking about a 10-match ban at some point in time. So 2-match ban is good, and they can still appeal it. But of course, that's not the end of the story.
That's not the end of the story. As the referee that gave him is also now being suspended as well, and also going under a bit of investigation. This has nothing to do exactly with the match, but there's a bit of conflict of interest, saying that he owns a sport outfit that seems to be, doing a lot of business with some football clubs. So he might be using his position as a referee to, interfere in some games.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sure this is not the original gist that everybody wants to talk about. This is the gist that a lot of people want to talk about, is the issue of Ademola Lookman. So yesterday, the second leg of the UEFA Champions League playoffs started yesterday. It's supposed to end today. And we saw Club Brugge defeat Atalanta 3-1. I think they had first defeated them 2-1 earlier. And then there was a lot of drama. However, this game, Club Brugge was already beating them 3-0. And then he was brought in after not playing for God knows when.
Yeah, he was injured
He's been injured. He came in, played for a few minutes, and then he scored the first goal. I'm sure that was some moral booster. Then they won a penalty, and then he took the penalty, and he lost it. So at the end of the day, the game ended 3-1. Mm-hmm. If he had won the penalty, they would still have lost the game.
Yeah, if he had ended 3-2.
If he had ended 3-2,
except
they needed
something
4 goals.
Again, yeah.
In fact, 5 goals. They needed 5 goals to upturn that game. Which, really? It wasn't looking like it, yeah? However, what started the rancor was the statement his coach, Gasparini had made
in public,
saying that Ademola Lookman was one of the worst penalty takers. He knows that he should not have taken. He's normally not a penalty taker, and the other players wanted to take the penalty, and they didn't. And that was what a lot of people were going on with, only for him finally, because you don't never really hear anything about Ademola Lookman. He had to put out a statement saying that he's really disappointed that his own team would literally throw him under the bus like that, and that he was actually told to take the penalty. Yeah,
the designated penalty taker actually offered, like, look, hey, I need you to come through for us. You know, you got this. Go play. And
for someone that already scored a goal.
The thing about this is that Atalanta were way too small a couple of seasons ago, until Demola came, and his goals and his contributions, assists and everything, actually won them laurels.
Yeah.
And also won himself 1 or 2 laurels and all of that. And here we are now, forgetting all of that just like that. This is life for you.
Who doesn't really lose a penalty?
One moment you're the best player in the team, the next moment you lose just one penalty. And the very best of us, when you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Sergio Kun Aguero, just mention
everybody has lost a penalty.
Lost a penalty at some, even crucial
penalties.
Look, David Beckham lost one that cost England a World Cup qualification. All sorts of things. Do you understand? So I think it's unfair to throw him under the bus. But when you're quick to do that, it shows how much you care about the person.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was Demola, I would stay professional. I'm glad that he put out that statement, which is a smart thing to do. I'll stay professional because the season ends in less than 3 months' time. Just stay professional, and those offers you're getting.
It's time to move. Now, a lot of people have now started talking and saying that, because this seems to be reminiscent of just a few months ago.
Yeah,
Victor Osimhen, and it's same Italian football.
Yeah,
like, is it that maybe Nigerians really should not be playing Italian football?
I don't even think it's a Nigerian thing. I don't think it's about us as Nigerians. I think it's more about them as somehow someone who doesn't really understand will say, they are racist, but I will not agree with that. You understand? I won't say that. Do you understand? But that some people will be like, these people are racist. Do you understand?
It sounds like it.
No, but come on, you can't say that.
I can't say that.
No, you can't say that.
Okay.
No, we wouldn't say that, would we? We wouldn't say they are racist.
They're not.
Are you?
They're not.
Are you guys racist?
They're not.
They're
in
not.
fact, with his statement, it seems like there seems to be a lot more to it. That this one was just voiced out.
Yeah, but we won't say these guys are racist. How many times have I used that word now?
We won't, Abby.
No, we won't.
No,
Abby,
okay,
there's no need now.
There's no need.
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Yeah,
it's obvious.
that they are not. Yeah.
They're not, yeah. Really and truly, I think that Ademola Lookman, I think that Victor Osimhen, like you said, the season is about to end in a few weeks' time.
You guys
it's time
cash
to
out.
pack your load.
They're fine enough for England, though.
England is looking for both of you. Please pack your books and go.
One of these guys, any one of them, in Arsenal.
Go.
Picture any one of them at Man United.
Just go.
Picture any one of them at Chelsea.
Anywhere. Just
picture any one of these guys. No.
Not anywhere, Shabo.
Don't go to City. Don't mind this one. Don't go to City.
No, I don't think City needs
United,
to do.
Chelsea, Arsenal, even Liverpool.
Yeah.
You slot in, and you guys will do well.
Yeah, I think that at this point, England needs them. They're playing good football at the moment. So just wait, stay until the end of the season and pack your load. It's unfair. It's unfair for someone that has done so much for the team, that has carried the team for so long.
If you go and check Demola's back, I'm sure he has backache. He's been carrying you guys.
Yeah. He was injured for weeks, and we could see
and you
the
guys
difference.
were not doing well. If he had played in the first leg, I'm sure the result would have been different.
It would have been different. He came in after you had already conceded 3 goals and still scored.
And he missed
And
one
then
penalty.
That's what he gets.
And we forget it.
And I think it's a horrible thing for the coach to say what he said.
It's good that you guys are not racist, Sha.
You're not.
Are you? No, you're
Okay.
not. Not.
Anyway, wanted to also put it out there that Arsenal defender Tomiyasu is now out for the rest of the season after a knee surgery.
It's a sad one. If you watch Tomiyasu play, you start to wonder, like, there's something about this guy. And there's a lot of potential there. He looks like a player that is destined for greatness. I hope that he comes back strong from this.
He does. I hope so, too. I was reading a report earlier today where the person was having... It was an interview who is supposed to be one of Pep Guardiola's doctors that he uses for this. Seems like this doctor follows him around all from since Barcelona and is one of the knee doctors that they use at Manchester City. And this person has treated God knows how many players. And this person was talking about and how that this season alone, if you look at across board in European football, this is the highest number of ACL injuries they've had, I think, since 2016. And he's talking about how he, as a doctor, is saying that the amount of injuries across board, ACL, knee injuries, all sorts of injuries, that the amount of that FIFA and UEFA are going to have to sit down and have a conversation about the workload. Because these players do not get to heal properly before they get back on, and even if they get back on, there's so much workload that there's so much stress on everybody's muscles. I'm like, interesting. This is something that everybody has been talking about since forever. Maybe somebody somewhere will finally listen. Anyway, moving on from that quickly. Interesting news as the Netherlands is set to return 119 Benin bronzes to Nigeria.
I was watching it. I won't call it it wasn't a documentary, it was an interview, and they were speaking to one of these curators, one of these European art experts, and they were asking them, where do you think is the best place for these artifacts that were stolen? Becoming that you saw my progress, but you saw my progression. And at some point we said it to get, don't be like that. I'm a poet. I have to be poetic and dramatic. So, stolen from Africa. Now we've used all the phrases. Borrowed, taken, and stolen. And the man said, the place they are now is where they're meant to be. Basically saying that the things that their own forefathers stole from our own forefathers,
brain is penning you, sir,
is better off in their own
brain
museums.
Is penning you.
So wait, look at it this way.
You're making money off it.
My father's father's father and his father's father made things that your own father's father's father and his father's father took to your country.
Stole. Let's not say
stole.
Don't they take is different from steal.
Then people pay money to come and just
see stolen property. Stolen.
Not only should the Netherlands and France and all these countries return these artifacts, you owe us money that you have made off these things.
Stolen.
That's the truth.
Stolen.
It's unfair that Africa gets treated like a stepchild.
And they did not know what they are doing.
Dear African leaders, please wake up. Please. I'm begging you.
Anyway,
shout out to these people, that Holy Ghost don't touch them. They won't release our property.
Please return it. Don't be stealing. Stealing is not good. It's not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Just putting it.
Just imagine if the tables were turned.
Stealing, nothing but stealing. Anyway, moving from there. Anyway, now Ira Star seems to have broken the jinx. I think this was yesterday. The Mobile Awards was yesterday, and for the first time in 16 years, she's the first female to win the Mobile Best International Act.
A big shout out to Ira Star. She deserves it. It's a long time coming. In such a short period, she has shown us how much of a star she is.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
she chose that name for a reason. Her stage name shows who she is, a star. And she's no longer a star in the making. She's now, a bona fide star. Shout out to the Mavens too for bringing
discovering such a beautiful talent. Yes. And finally, before we go, American rapper ASAP Rocky has now been found guilty.
I saw the video of him in court, and he was very emotional and everything. Well, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that this part of his life is over. Hopefully, this won't happen again. What we want to hear is good music, or just music. As against all these court cases, guns, gun violence, and everything. We don't want that.
Exactly. Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day.